Welcome to Who What Wareham, the show that brings you closer to the people, places, and events in the local community. Get a glimpse of a current project we at WCTV have been working on for over a year, learn about the new effort to help Hurricane Sandy victims, watch the Wareham Warriors battle the Harlem Wizards in a friendly game of basketball, and see the sights from this year's Christmas parade. But first, let's learn about a little history of Piper's Restaurant. Produced by Bruce Gannon, here is Up Close and Personal.
In Wareham, Massachusetts, with the proprietors, Tara and Dave, and I'm going to mispronounce your last name.
Wallstrom.
Wallstrom, terrific. Thank you very much. All right, guys, listen, it's your time here to talk. Why don't you let us know how you came to become the proprietors of this establishment?
Okay, as some of you may know, I worked here prior. It was Piper Bowes before, and I worked here as a bartender and a manager. An opportunity presented itself, and I decided to see if I could make it work. And it's always been a dream of mine. I figured that I'd try it out, put my heart and soul into it pretty much, and just give everything.
Great. How about you, Dave? How do you come to become a proprietor of a bar in Wareham?
I married someone with a dream. No, she's been, I met her, she was working in the restaurant industry. I married her, she was in the restaurant industry. This is something she's always wanted to do. I support her 100%, so this is where we're at now.
Terrific. Now, obviously you're wearing the colors of a firefighter. How does that blend with being a bar owner or proprietor?
It really doesn't blend. That's what I do for a living, obviously. It's really two separate things altogether.
But obviously it takes a lot of your time. So balancing time must be tough for you.
It's her. This is her baby. This is her baby.
All right.
It can be tough.
Yeah.
Very tough. We don't see each other on our off days. I'm working, she's working, so it's very tough.
Yeah. I mean, I've been around bars a lot. I know a few owners, so I know what you're talking about as far as the time issues and how it can kind of strain things. So how do you balance that? I mean, how do you...
You definitely have to take time out for yourself. It's difficult, and over the last 7 months, I've learned how to deal with that a little bit. Making appointments to make sure that I have time to kind of de-stress and just break away for at least an hour or so. So I kind of don't go crazy. Because that can happen. It definitely happens. It's very stressful. There's a lot going on, but it's worth it. It's, like I said, it's it is a dream of mine, and it is coming true. And there's a lot more ahead, a lot more to do, a lot more that we want to try. But we're looking forward to it.
Well, that sounds good. You guys are recently married, right? So
2 years.
2 years?
2 years, July. Yeah.
It seems like it was like a week ago.
Yeah.
Really, I mean, I remember when the whole thing happened. I mean, seeing it on Facebook and the whole.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Keep you updated.
It doesn't seem like it's been that long. Well, that's great though. Yeah. So you've seen this place be many different things. The changes it's been through. What do you think about what's going on here in Wareham and how you guys fit in?
Well, I think Main Street anywhere in the U.S. has always been something that people go to for whatever they do.
Right.
I think it's important that the townspeople have a place to go to relax, have some cocktails, have some decent food at a really reasonable price, and that's what we hope to bring to Main Street Wareham. It's unfortunate that we're the only place like this on Main Street. Hopefully we can get something kickstarted. I'd love to see all of Main Street come back alive like this.
Well, I mean, obviously with the sidewalk project that I know is kind of a sore subject for some people, but I mean, that was designed to try to bring in more activity and kind of help change the perception of downtown Wareham. And
yes.
I mean, obviously you guys, well, how's it been since you took over? I mean, how's your business been?
It was definitely tough with the construction, but I think that it looks beautiful. They did a wonderful job, and we are hoping, you know, we really pay attention to making sure the front is nice and clean and just picking up everything so that people do want to come by and come in and check it out. It is a nice area. Like David had said, it would be nice if you could get people walking. They could park for one day and just walk and visit all the shops and go have a beer here and go grab something to eat here and, you know, get all their errands done, but have a good time.
Absolutely. Since you changed it from the previous Piper Bowes, have you seen an uptick in business? Do you think, you know, what you brought to the place has changed it a little bit?
I've seen more regulars. More of our regulars have come back. You know, we have a great crew that really supports us, and that's what makes your business. When you have the repeat customers coming back, that's what makes it.
Oh, absolutely.
Especially during the tough times, which we're going into now, which is the winter. But we're steady. We have football, and you know, we have great specials that, you know, get people in every day. We have the $4.99 special. We try to keep everything at a decent price because it is a blue collar town. Yeah,
and I have to admit that was my biggest issue with the previous owners and that ran it. I appreciated what they tried to bring in, but like I said, it's a blue collar town, and people aren't looking out to pay $25 for an entree and sit down with a family of four. That's not.
Yeah.
Especially in today's economy.
Absolutely.
Everybody's pinching pennies. And why should you have to go out and spend $100 for 2 or 3 people to go out and have something to eat? Right. It's ridiculous. Nobody's got that type of money to spend, especially, like I said, in today's economy, everybody's in the same boat.
In November, the Harlem Wizards came to town for a fundraiser put on by the Village PTA. The Wareham Warriors team was comprised of teachers, coaches, and basketball players as they competed in a game filled with tricks, fancy teamwork, wild dunks, and comedy, complete with a halftime show with everyone invited to the court to dance. Here's a sneak peek of the thrilling game between the Harlem Wizards and the Wareham Warriors.
Hey, no, that's child abuse.
For the past few years, WCTV has hosted a free public service announcement day for any local nonprofit groups to come in, learn how to script, and create their own video that highlights their organization. It has been very successful to many groups, and we will be offering it again this coming year. The following announcements were created during last year's PSA Day. Take a look at Plymouth County Teachers Federal Credit Union and the First Spiritualist Church of Onset.
Are you tired of paying high bank fees?
It's not about the fees, it's really about you when you come here.
Why not join PCT Federal Credit Union? Formed by educators and now open to the entire Wareham community. Unlike most banks, the credit union has no annual credit card fees, free checking, free ATM withdrawals, and generally lower loan rates. And we are a not-for-profit organization, which means we can focus on serving members rather than maximizing our profit.
The banks didn't know my name. Never mind that I had a husband and a son.
Some banks you go, it's banking. You're doing this, you're doing a service, and you're leaving. Here, it's just friendly.
The people are what makes the big difference.
Join the credit union family at Plymouth County Teachers Federal Credit Union.
Welcome to the First Spiritualist Church of Onset, located at 17 Highland Avenue in Onset, Mass. As spiritualists, we believe in infinite intelligence God. Spiritualism is a religion, a science, and a philosophy. Many people come to our church grieving the loss of a loved one, with questions of the afterlife.
Our services include hymns, prayer, meditation, hands-on healing, a lecture, and mediumship, which proves the continuity of life. Our church services begin at 6:30 p.m. on Sundays, and all are welcome. Do you wonder what your purpose is here on this earth?
You may find these answers in our spiritual unfoldment classes every Wednesday evening at 7:30 p.m., and it's open to the public. In these classes, we learn to enhance our spiritual development and open to our spiritual gifts.
We also have visiting lecturers and mediums from around the world. For future workshops and lectures, or contact information, please visit our website, www.church1.org.
Any nonprofit group in Wareham is welcome to attend. Stay tuned to our website, warahamtv.org, or contact us for exact dates.
Hi, I'm Jay Hurd, the Executive Director at Wareham Community Television. I'm also a video producer and a contributor to Who What Wareham, the WCTV magazine show. For the past year, I've been working on an ambitious project along with our staff and several members of Wareham Community Television. At last year's Martin Luther King breakfast at the Wareham Boys and Girls Club, we started a group recital of Dr. King's famous "I Have a Dream" speech, recorded on the Mall in Washington, D.C., August 28, 1963. In total, we'll have 150 of your friends and neighbors taking part in this production. It'll be completed by the beginning of January, and we'll be showing it in its entirety at the Martin Luther King breakfast, January 21st, 2013, at the Wareham Boys and Girls Club. If you'd like to join us there, please give Barbara Sullivan a call for a reservation. The following is a clip that's a preview of our program. I hope you enjoy the show and Dr. King's speech. Thanks for watching.
We shall overcome. We shall overcome someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe that we shall overcome someday.
I am happy to join with you today in what will go down in history as the greatest demonstration for freedom in the history of our nation.
5 years ago, a great American,
in whose symbolic shadow we stand today,
signed the Emancipation Proclamation.
This momentous decree came as a great beacon of light and hope
To millions of Negro slaves who had been seared in the flames of withering injustice.
It came as a joyous daybreak to end the long night of their captivity.
But 100 years later, the Negro is still not free.
100 years later.
The life of the Negro is sadly crippled by the manacles of
segregation and the chains of discrimination.
100 years later.
The Negro lives on a lonely island of poverty.
In the midst of a vast ocean of material prosperity.
100 years later.
The Negro is still languished in the corners of American society.
And finds himself in exile in his own land.
And so we've come here today to dramatize a shameful condition.
In a sense, we've come to our nation's capital to cash a check.
When the architects of our republic wrote the magnificent words of the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence,
they were signing a promissory note for which all Americans were to fall heir.
This note was a promise that all
men, yes, black men as well as white men, would be guaranteed the unalienable rights
of life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness.
It is obvious today that America has defaulted on this promissory note.
Insofar as her citizens of color are concerned,
instead of honoring the sacred obligation,
America has given the Negro people a bad check. A check which has come back marked insufficient funds.
But we refuse to believe that the Bank of Justice is bankrupt.
We refuse to believe that there are insufficient funds
in the great vaults of opportunity of this nation.
And so we've come to cash this check.
This check, a check that will give us upon demand the riches of freedom
and the security of justice.
We have also come to this hallowed spot to remind America of the fierce urgency of now.
Okay, well that's a preview to our I Have a Dream project. I'd like to invite you to stop by WCTV and talk to us about how you can produce your own shows. Coming up next is a PSA about the Wareham Hurricane Sandy Coalition.
I'm Sally Morrison, a WCTV member, and I'm here today with Claire Smith and Eleanor Martin, two of the individuals who helped spearhead Wareham Hurricane Sandy Coalition, a band of Wareham residents and businesses and organizations who are working collaboratively to help the Guyan Rescue in Oakwood Heights, Staten Island, and their efforts of their community who are banding together to help their community deal with the aftermath of Hurricane Sandy. So,
yes, and the way we got started was Claire and I were at a meeting for another committee of an event that's coming up in town, and we got to talking about what had happened in Hurricane Sandy and the need for us to step forward and do something to help. And what we thought was that we would try and find a community that was similar to our own Wareham community, and that's where Claire stepped in and started doing some research, and she came up with the name of one and some contacts, and it's taken off since then.
Can you give us a little backstory of Guyan Rescue and how they've become our new best friends?
Well, initially, Sally, I reached out to several areas in New York. I have a son who is a deputy fire marshal who has several friends that are on New York Fire Department. So I reached out through New York Fire Department, through a battalion chief, who gave me a couple of directions in which to head. And I picked up the phone and made contact with friends of friends, knowing that, you know, I could trust who I was talking with, who put me in touch with Karen Tyrone and Derek Tabaco, who were just two people who live in the neighborhood who, the day after Hurricane Sandy, took out their grills, brought them out to the sidewalk and started cooking for the neighbors because they had no power, they had no way to cook meals. And as a result of that, everyone just started coming to their little grill and talking about what they needed to do and what the needs were. And then they ended up just putting up a pop-up tent because more people were coming along, the weather was still bad. And they decided that they wanted to get together and work on their neighborhood to restore, repair, and rebuild. Initially, in any kind of a disaster, people are quick to rally the troops and send things knowing that you need everything. But we wanted to specifically target something that they generally would not receive, and asked, what can we do for you? And she said, our immediate and dire need is fire extinguishers and carbon monoxide smoke detectors.
And we're also going to be providing communication via WCTV's website. The actual link to Wareham Hurricane Sandy Coalition will be maintained on the WCTV website. And to get there, it is www.warehamtv.org. And a lot that was shared today will be up there. There will be updates of what the specific needs are because they change weekly. There will be links to the websites that are in New York, and that includes the www.guyan.org.
It's Guyan Rescue.
GuyanRescue.org. And they have a Facebook page, as does WCTV. What we would like to, that we think would be awesome is if we get as many people as possible in Wareham to go on and like those people. I'd like to see it up to over 1,500 by the end of the week, with the message that we are aware of them. We're in there for the long haul after they're not on the front page and on the nightly news, that for as long as it takes and whatever it takes, we're going to be there to help them out. So we hope you might consider joining us in some way, shape, or form in the future.
For more information on the hurricane relief effort, please visit our website at warehamtv.org/Sandy. For Who What Wareham, I'm Warren Randolph. Thank you for watching.